I'm Vinnie Duber, Lucas Giolito here on the south side. Lucas, thanks for the time. And I'm going to start off, I know you're a big video game guy.
Yeah.
Your first video game console, what was it, and what was your favorite game? First favorite video game?
Nintendo 64, Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time.
Okay, so you picked a console that I can relate to.
Got it.
You know, I was afraid because you're a few years younger than me, so I was going to be like, I'm going to come in here with the N64 stuff, and he's going to be like, no.
No. Legendary console. My dad brought it home when I was like 4 or 5 years old. I have fond memories of watching my dad play through Ocarina of Time. The game was so complicated, I had to use the guide. And then later on, I think when I was like in high school, I got an emulator on my computer, and I went and played back all those games I played when I was like very, very young. Played through Ocarina of Time, Water Temple kicked my ass. But a lot of good times, Mario Kart, Super Smash Brothers, Diddy Kong Racing, a lot of good titles for that console.
So I was a Donkey Kong 64 guy myself.
Oh, yeah.
It came with the yellow cartridge, which you had to love. So
Super massive game.
I know.
Yeah.
It took forever.
Yes, there's so many collectibles. All those platformers, man, like I miss, they don't make those types of games anymore. Like Donkey Kong 64, Super Mario 64. They're still doing it with Mario, but another one of my favorites was Banjo-Kazooie.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so here, now, be careful with this one. This could cause, there are some opinions about this. What's the best baseball video game of all time?
Ooh.
Because if you ask me, there's one right answer, so let's see if you get it.
It's hard not to say MVP Baseball 2005.
He got it, folks.
Yeah. It's a tough one. Manny on the cover, right?
Manny was 05, Pujols was 04.
Yeah. 05 was the one. Great soundtrack, very good gameplay. You know, the show does a very good job nowadays of making baseball sims, but for the nostalgia purposes, 05 gets it. And then I really like the NCAA game as well.
The one that came after it.
Yes, yeah. That's when EA Sports had the rights.
My buddy would update the rosters. I mean, literally up until like 2 years ago, he was updating the MVP rosters, so that was fun.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, this year much better going for you than last year. Personally, what is, I know that you weren't pleased with last year. You wanted to make a change. What is working for you this year that wasn't working for you last year?
I'm able to make adjustments right now. I honestly, like, how many starts deep am I? 14-ish? I feel like I've only gone out there with my best stuff like 2 to 3 times this year. And, you know, I'm starting to feel like, you know, a little bit of a ramp up right now, which I'm excited about. But at the same time, it's just being a more mature pitcher, feeling my body a lot better than I did last year, both in like bullpens and out there in the game, being able to make quick adjustments and then make quality pitches to get out of jams.
So what was that off-season work like? We know that, you know, you have had some transformative off-seasons in the past. What did you focus on this off-season that you're noticing now almost halfway through this season has really paid off?
The biggest thing was getting my body like physically back to like where I'm most comfortable. So, you know, shed some of the weight that I put on last year, leaned out a little bit, started moving better, feeling better on a day-to-day basis. And then as I went into like my actual baseball work, when it came to like throwing, you know, doing some plyo ball drills and, you know, kind of a whole program to get all my mechanics synced up again, I just felt like my body was a little bit more free and I was able to make those adjustments.
What is it like working with Ethan in the off season? You know, we've heard that he's kind of a master with the communication and giving you guys tips. What is a pitcher's off season relationship with his pitching coach like?
Yeah, I mean, for me, Ethan and I have a personal relationship that goes back many years, so we're always in contact. But yeah, working with him in the off season is great. And now that he lives in Chicago, a lot of it's like over FaceTime and exchanging video and things like that. But he did come out to California. I think he saw me and a few of the other guys that live in that LA area. And, you know, he just wanted to take a look and see what I was working on. And he had a couple suggestions, and we implemented those and got ready for the season.
What is an Ethan Katz mound visit like?
Chill. Generally pretty chill. Usually it's like, you know, just kind of resetting, giving yourself, or him coming out to give me a breather, and then refocusing, kind of putting everything in the past that just happened, refocusing on, what are the next pitches that we need to make to get out of this situation. So kind of quickly going over like, hey, what's the game plan for attacking this guy? But it's an open conversation between me, catcher, and Ethan. And we wrap that all up within 30 seconds or whatever amount of time till the umpire gets there.
You brought it up, your personal relationship with him that stretches back. What is your best Ethan Katz story from high school?
I hate him for this, but it's when he was our pitching coach, but he also took it upon himself to be our pitcher's conditioning coach as well, which meant a lot of running, which I was not a fan of, and I'm not a fan of now. And now that I'm a big leaguer, I don't have to. But he made us, I want to say it was my sophomore, junior year, in like the preseason workouts, he said the goal for all you guys is to run a sub 7-minute mile. So we all had to just get our conditioning up, and then on the day we went out to the track at our high school, and I think I finished at like 6 minutes 56 seconds and immediately collapsed to the ground. So yeah, it's a good Ethan story, but yeah, I'll forever hate him a little bit just for that one.
You bring up LA, you guys were just out there, you got to be in Dodger Stadium as a big leaguer. What was that like?
It was really cool, really, really cool. I grew up going there, watching the Dodgers play, watching some of my favorite players. I wasn't a Dodger fan growing up. I really wasn't a fan of any team. I was a fan of the game, and then as I got a little bit older, I became a big fan of pitching because I knew that's what I wanted to do. So going out there and, seeing the players play and watching some of my favorite guys over the years, the atmosphere there is absolutely electric. You got the Hollywood feel, the great sound system in center field. So, it would have been cool if I got to pitch one of the games there. It didn't work out. I'm sure I'll get the chance at some point in the future.
During the ESPN broadcast, you brought up your memories of going to the all-you-can-eat hot dog section.
Yep, right field bleachers.
What was your record?
Oh, man. I ate a lot more food in high school than I do now. I think over a 9-inning game, I probably put down at least 7, 8 Dodger dogs.
I mean, you just one away from that whole 1-inning pace.
Yeah, that would have been too much, though. I'm not out there trying to set records.
We'll do one more LA-based question. Obviously, your family with the acting history. I'm not going to ask you which of their roles is your favorite. I'm going to ask you which of your roles is your favorite. It's some of the commercials, the local ads you've been doing lately.
The guaranteed rate one was fun and cool, but that was 2 years ago. It was getting a lot of play. I wasn't expecting it to be on like every 10 seconds, and so it kind of turned into a bit of a meme. The fans were giving me some crap for it. Obviously, my teammates were. But, nonetheless, a good memory. I'd say my favorite one, though, is the one I just did earlier this year for Darwin Furniture and Mattress. That was a really good time. It was kind of a fun acting experience. It kind of gave me a little bit of freedom. I got to ad-lib a little bit and kind of mess around, and I thought they turned out pretty good.
Have your family given you some reviews on this yet?
Oh yeah, I immediately, as soon as I got them, I immediately sent them to my mom, my brother, hey, what do you think? Do I look good on screen? How do I deliver my lines? And they gave me notes and things like that.
It's been a season for you guys that hasn't gone the way you've wanted it to so far. Rick brought it up the other day when he was talking, the kind of difference that we noticed between now and a few years ago when you guys were having a lot of fun, and that he could use the word swagger was very obvious, very present. There's the obvious, no one likes to lose type situation, but what do you think happened to that fun? Is it still in you guys, and how can you get it back?
Yeah, it's definitely in us, but it's hard to let it out when you're over 10 games below 500 and you put yourself in a hole to start the year. Right now it's kind of that grind mode, really trying to have the highest level of attention to detail and all this work that we're seeing out beyond us right here, pre-game, getting everybody's mind right, body right, so that we can go out and start to put some wins together. The division we're in, we're only 4.5 games back despite our record, so it really is anybody's division at this point. I really think that we just need to put it together as a team, start to get that momentum building, and then you'll see a lot more of that fun and swagger.
Are you seeing what you want to see from the guys inside the clubhouse? Is the clubhouse right now?
Yeah. I think a lot of guys are stepping up, no matter what their roles are. Adding a little bit more vocal leadership. Trying to make sure that we right the ship in every way possible. We're doing what we can when it comes to all that. We all get along. We're having a good time together. It's just the baseball's been tough. So, that's the one thing we got to get right.
I don't know if this has gotten back to you, but on our show, you're known as LG, Large Game, Lucas Giolito. What is it about that dates back to Oakland, the playoff game in Oakland. What is it about the bright lights that does it for you, for a baseball player, for any pro athlete? What is it about the biggest moments that really allows you guys to crank things up to another gear?
Yeah, the more fans in the stands, the more hostile the atmosphere, or at home, the more, hyped up the atmosphere, big games. It just gets you going, man. It's hard to put into words. Like, the adrenaline gets pumping, but then at the same time, you have to kind of take all that energy and really just turn it into focus on execution of each pitch. And I feel like in those big games is when I'm able to do that best. Really what I'm working on is kind of the other ones, those, day game in the middle of the week in Detroit or whatever it may be, like getting that same kind of energy and fire for every single start. That's, that's what the great ones do.
We know you do a lot of work with animals. A lot of charity work in general. What is the latest on the community front for you?
Well, just today we did Miracle League. It's a fantastic event. I think it's my second or third time doing it here at our stadium. White Sox Charities has the Miracle League come out. If you don't know what that is, basically it gives a big league experience to kids with cognitive and physical disabilities, so that they get to come out here. It's just such a beautiful event. We have the announcer, we have a national anthem, we have the video board up. All the kids, like when they go up to bat, they chose their own walk-up songs. They get to see themselves on the big board wearing the jersey. Their names are on all the Sox jerseys. And we're just there as players to kind of facilitate the fun, run around with the kids, laugh with them. And that's one of the most rewarding experiences for me when it comes to the community side, just like seeing the smiles on those kids' faces. Because for us, we come here every day, and it's a privilege. We're very fortunate to be able to play this game for a living. So being able to kind of give that experience to kids that have been through some hard times, families that have been through some hard times, means the world. And
the pets at home are doing well?
Yeah. Louis Juice and Scallop doing great.
Any antics of late?
Same old. They got very strong personalities. The cats like to clash with each other. Louis and Juice, one of our cats, they've only gotten closer over the years. They'll be cuddling and stuff. It's pretty cute.
You mentioned in a recent interview, when you were asked about your future and trade talk and trade buzz and stuff like that you're very, very loyal to this organization. And, I think for you, it's probably an obvious question, but for people who haven't had your experience, why does that loyalty exist? What when you look at that jersey makes you go that this is home for you?
Yeah, I go back. 2016 is when I debuted with the Nationals, and I had a few opportunities with them that year. I was 21 or 22 years old. Didn't go well, and the Nats immediately put me in a trade package along with Ronaldo and Dane Dunning, who is on the other side today. And I came to the White Sox in that trade. So immediately it was like, all right, cool, fresh start. But like how welcomed I felt from the get-go, like top down in the organization, from the players, the coaches, the front office. It's like, we want you. Like you are going to be part of our future. And feeling that after what just happened the year before was immediately like, oh wow, like this is wonderful. And then you fast forward 2018. Worst pitcher in baseball, right? Like we were talking about the commercial earlier. I mean, it's facts. And instead of probably 29 other teams, maybe 2 months in would have been like, all right, like you're going down to AAA, figure it out. The White Sox literally told me, hey, it's a rebuild. You're going to be a part of our future. You're going to be a part of our future success. We know you're struggling. Get through it. You're going to be here all year. It meant the world. I mean, I'm such a lucky position to be in. I got to, have a year of service time and learn from that failure. So then, the next off season I got to work, and then 2019 was my breakout season, and I've just felt nothing but love. So, like I said, very loyal to this organization. It does make me kind of sad thinking that this could be my last year.
What would it mean to you to have it continue, and should it get to that point next winter or something like that? What would that mean to you?
Oh, it would mean a lot. It would be huge. Be able to stay with this team and continue to try and help the younger guys and try to find a way to, like you're saying, kind of right this ship and get it going, because I know the talent we have, but a lot of those factors out of my control. So right now, I'm focusing on my next start. That's it. Next start. Take the ball, go out, give our team the best possible chance to win that game. That's all I can do.
Lucas Giolito, thank you so much for the time. Thank you for being on the CHGO White Sox podcast.